Where is Harrison Ford? I need Harrison Ford. Nah, I'm just playing. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today we're reviewing the series, The Mosquito Coast, which is going to be coming to Apple TV Plus April 30th. Yup, season 1, 7 episodes, about an hour each. Now, the reason I made the Harrison Ford joke is because Harrison Ford was in the original film back in 1986. And he's still around kicking, but like, you know, maybe a little cameo or something. No Harrison Ford is involved with this project. This one is based off of the novel brought by Paul Theroux, which actually is interesting to know. And of course, if you haven't looked at the casting or whatnot, his nephew, Justin Theroux, is your lead in this one. So that's pretty cool. It comes full circle within family ties there. This one comes from the novel. And it's not that the movie didn't come from the novel, but there's really not much of a connection between the movie and this series. I would say like there's sprinkles of similarity, but like they're ultimately very, very different. But yeah, this one is adapted from the best-selling novel, The Mosquito Coast. With this one, you know, they're now in Mexico, and in the 1986 movie, they were in Central America. So like, to be honest, the tones are different. Obviously, the location, and just a lot of other things that just makes them really two different projects. But you know, who knows what happens? Because I believe this is could be something good enough for season 2. It definitely left open with the possibilities for such. But you never know where this could go. But also, I have to mention that somebody else I'm very much a fan with is involved with this. This is from the writer Neil Cross, who done Luther and recently The Sister, which I absolutely love. Got a chance to interview him. So knowing that he was on board with this as well too was just another icing on the cake for me. But yeah, it is 7 episodes, about an hour each. Again, premiering Friday, April 30th. What's happening in this series is that you have this radical idealist and brilliant inventor, Allie Fox, who's played by Justin Theroux. He who uproots his family for Mexico, and then they suddenly find themselves on the run from the U.S. government. So, you know, the big thing about this is that it's the underlying mystery of what's so important about this family. Why did he have to leave America and move his entire family to Mexico now on the run? And, you know, the first thing about it, that if you are a fan of Neil Cross, you know there's one thing about him. He absolutely knows how to write a series filled with mystery and drama, and that's what this does. And what's really cool about that is that you don't really need an antagonist, a strong one, with his style of writing, and which is the same thing here. Like, you probably wanted more from the antagonist in this, which is fine, but everything is really driven around the idea and the mystery of what is up with this family. You know, what's the connection between the mom and the dad here, and why is everyone after them, and why are they so valued as well? And that's and as well as them being on the run, obviously, for survival, like, that's really the premise of what the investment with the viewers is you want to know, one, how they're going to survive, and two, like, what's up with them. But also, again, going back to Allie, played by Justin Theroux, I love his character. I really, really love his character, because it's like, because he's so brilliant, he's so crafty, he's able to really get himself out of every situation by really just assessing it and really thinking of all the possible outcomes, whether him having to craft something or whether him just, you know, figuring out what's the best outcome and tactic for survival. Like, I really, really like that character. I think it's pretty cool. And you know what? Not to mention too, with this show, just to make it very clear, I've seen a ton of good series this year. So the bar for television series is really, really high. And, you know, I feel like this one was very good, but truly did have more room for everything. In every element, it could have been more. But for what it's worth, I really enjoyed and was intrigued. Very good character development, tons of layers with this character. Again, I thought the antagonist could have been a lot more, but it was truly driven on the survival factor and really the unknown of where everything is going on. Not to mention, too, what I love about the construction of these episodes is that you notice how like most episodes really does one of these things, like it just kind of coasts, and then something happens within like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the episode, which ultimately leaves you with a cliffhanger wanting the next episode, which is cool because that's how you keep people invested in regards to binging. But what this one did is that it was more or less built like a movie. Made me like a roller coaster because like it had that big wow moment in the middle and at the end. So like at times in the middle of the episode, you would think like, oh, this is it. But you look at the time like, oh, I still got 30 more minutes left. So like it built a lot of suspense throughout the entire episode, which really keeps you interested the entire time. So like, yeah, you don't commonly see that. But it was instantly one of the first thing I noticed. I definitely caught myself looking at the timer like, oh, this episode felt fast, because you know when you feel like the conclusion's coming, that big like bang that's gonna happen. And then you're like, oh, it's still the middle of the episode. Not to mention too, the score really panders towards that as well too. But along with that too, I have to say the mom, who's played by Melissa George, this character's quiet for a few episodes, but man, I tell you, after them, she instantly turns up. She's by far my favorite character, and her performance is amazing. That's all I can say. Really, really, really love Melissa George's character in this. And I think like the show does take some really interesting turns. Each time they did, I was really pretty much ready for them. Not in the sense of like I knew it was coming, but like I was like, yeah, I fully embrace what they're doing with this. And it was really, really cool. And again, the dad just being the genius and just really being able to be so crafty in certain situations is so intriguing to me, because you're just like, well, what is he going to MacGyver next, you know? So that's really cool. But yeah, I think that, again, this series has some intense like scenes in regards to survival and just being on the run and them not knowing who to trust. And then again, they're in the heart of Mexico while all this is happening. And you got the parents, you got the two kids who just have no idea what's happening. And while we're trying to figure out what's up with the parents, the kids are also kind of trying to figure out what's up with their parents. And then you kind of like, well, who's with these people after them? It's in Mexico. So, the cartel has to be lurking somewhere around. Then you got the government and just waiting for them and trying to be involved. There's a lot going on here. But overall, I thought this was a very entertaining series. Again, it's going to be dropping April 30th on Apple TV Plus. The Mosquito Coast, I think for season 1, I absolutely want to know what they're going to do with season 2. Hopefully it gets signed for season 2. And I think a lot of y'all would check this out. I really, really do. I think it's really built really good. And as far as everything in regards to putting together a good series, it doesn't lack nowhere. There is absolutely room for everything to take it to the next level. But then again, I think that's what's good about it, is because like that leaves so much more for an additional season. Instead of giving us all so much right now, that it's just like, well, what more can they do? And again, I think that, with the idea that, they did have the film, which again, just sprinkles of that really, and it's totally two different projects. Maybe there could be something where they can work something out with that, bring some of the older fan base back for this, and could be very, very interesting. So, but anyway, folks, thank you so much for checking out this review. Check this out again, April 30th on Apple TV Plus. This is season 1 of Mosquito Coast. Thank you for watching this review, folks, and I'll see you all very soon.